วัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Voice of the Nation special interview today. You're with me, Nina Nirasha Malisak-Lamia. And today is the 1st of June, and of course today marks an important day for Thailand as well, as today, the 1st of June, is also the first day that Thailand's Personal Data Protections BE 2562, or what we know as Pdpa, comes into full effect. And the new law aims to protect the personal data or internet users so that it is not used without their authorizations. And under the law, people is responsible for controlling or processing data and will be required to gain consent from data owners before collecting, using, or disclosing their personal data. Of course, this will bring a lot of change, and this will bring a lot of challenges to the way data protection is regulated in Thailand. And this created challenges for businesses and organizations, of course, both before and after the Pdpa comes into effect. So today let's discuss the effects and the challenges of this new law. Please welcome คุณรดิษฐัฐ ประภานนท์ Managing Partner and Corporate Lawyer of รดิษฐัฐ and Partners Ltd. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
Welcome to Voice of the Nations. Thank you very much for joining our program. First of all, since today is the 1st of June 2022, and also it's the first day that the Pdpa law comes into effect in Thailand, could you please recap a little bit about what is Pdpa?
Well, we have to understand that the Pdpa is come from the word the Personal Data Protection Act is the law. And this law is drafted based on the primary law in the EU. It's called General Data Protection Regulations. So the Pdpa, general concept of the Pdpa is to protect our personal data or information, and to ensure that our personal data or information will be used and processed in accordance with our true intention only. And this law will also help remedy us from any breach or violation of the use or process of the personal data to be in accordance with our objective.
So why is this Pdpa so important?
The PTA is very important. It is undeniable that in this era, our personal data information is considered as a big asset for business or organization. And during the past few years, our personal data information have been misused or processed in the wrong way and without our consent, and sometimes causes damages. So the PTA will help us to protect our information to that will be used or processed based on our true intention. And for example, I will give you an example in the US. We may have heard about the Facebook case that back in 2018, there was a consulting company that used the information of the Facebook user for the purpose of the US election campaign, and without knowledge and without consent of the Facebook user. And that will impact the US election campaign at that time to favor the US president at that time. So the court in the US verdict that Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook will have to pay the penalty at very expensive at the amount of about 5,000 million US or 155,000 million baht. It's very expensive.
So this law actually is applied in many countries already.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, that the PDPA is drafted based on the GDPR in the EU, but also in the US, they also have a personal data protection law in the US as well.
But for Thailand, it's something very new.
Yes.
Do you think that Thailand is ready for this?
I would say that the PDPA has been postponed for 2 years already. Actually, it's supposed to be effective on 2 years ago.
Right.
But
It
it's
was
postponed 2
exempt.
times. Yes. And I believe that big organization, big enterprise have already prepared for the PDPA compliance to cope with this PDPA. But for the SME or other small business, they don't
Online.
or freelancer, they might not have enough understanding about the PDPA yet. So it might
It might affect
it
come
might
to
affect-
challenges for
yes,
them.
it might come to challenges. Yes.
But what are the general requirements of the PDPA for business and organizations?
I have to explain a little bit about this. First of all, there are 3 key players under the PDPA. First is the data controller, which is a business organization. And the second is a data processor. And the third one is data subject. Data subject is the one who provide information to other parties.
Individual.
Individual person. And the data controller is they have the duties under the PDPA that they have to receive the consent, the written consent from the data subject before they collect, use or disclose such information. Or they can collect, use, disclose such information based on the lawful basis under the PDPA. The data controller has the duties to set the security safeguard for the organization, and also to arrange for the examination system to check that they have been complied with the PDPA all the time. So the challenge might be, in my opinion, might be that the data subject may challenge that this organization or this business have been prepared for the PDPA effectively or not.
Who will benefit from this law?
I would say that the data subject, which is all of us, individual person, will be benefit from this law. Because the purpose of this PDPA is to protect our personal data, as I mentioned earlier. And under the PDPA, they also provide the rights of the data subject. What can data subject can do or can manage his or her own information. For example, even though the data subject already give the business organization the consent to use the information for any purpose, but the data subject can anytime revoke the consent or withdraw the consent. So the business and organization have to do as according to the data subject request. And for another example, that the data subject can also have the right to ask the business organization to erase or destroy his
Or her personal data.
They have about 8 rights. The first right is, as I give you an example, that the right to revoke the consent, the right to access the data, the right to be forgotten. To be forgotten means to erase or destroy her own information. And the right to be rectification, I mean to correct the data to be
It was wrong.
up to date.
Okay.
And the right to object the processing. and the right to restrict the processing. And this is, for example, of the right of the data subject. So one challenge of the business or organization is that once the PDPA is effective, the data subject, if they know their rights, they will challenge the business organization that can we use our rights according to the PDA or not. And so the business organization have to prepare the channel, for example, in the website or the application that the data can use the right
Have the right to use
have the right to use very
the personal data of
yes,
the employee.
yes, yes.
As an individual, what are some basic knowledge that we should know about the PDPA law?
Okay, I think according to PDPA, we protect our personal data information. So we have also to protect others, people's personal data information as well. For example, when we take pictures of yourself and maybe in your bag, there's
Selfie?
also
Someone
other
pass?
people, someone walking past
Photo
or
bomb?
eating. We have to be aware when we post such pictures in the social media because if that picture shows their faces and this will like
We can get charged for that.
yes. So we have to be aware when taking photo pictures of other people as well. The other thing is our identification card.
ID card, yes.
ID card. When we make a copy and to submit to do some transaction.
People can steal that information and use.
In the data, personal data protection, the personal data is also in the ID card.
Right.
And they can use this information. But they also have the sensitive data in that as well, such as the religious. And religious is considered as the sensitive personal data. So if it's necessary, you have to
to cross it out?
Cross it out for making a copy and give them to.
So from today, from now on, the 1st of June, how will Thailand curb in complying with PDPA and how this law will shape the country?
Wow. Shaping the country? In terms of business or organization, I think I believe that they have prepared to comply with the PDPA for some certain period already. So, of course, they will more courteous to collect, use, or disclose the personal data of us, of ourselves, more and more, and to not to and to also protect our personal data from someone who will hack the personal data.
Who can access to our personal data?
Or maybe the leak of the personal data. So they will bring up the awareness
and
to
the standards.
The standard to the society. Whereas in terms of the data subject, like us, we more courteous and more concerned about providing information to any other parties, because we will be more courteous that any information that we provide will be misused or used in the wrong way or maybe illegal. So overall, I would say that it will bring us to be aware, to be to see how important of our own personal data or information.
PDPA will surely challenge the SME freelancers, as you mentioned, and also online sellers. Those are the people who haven't been prepared. Although some big companies have prepared for the past 2 years, but 80 to 90% are still confusing or puzzled around what should they do. So what would be your advice for, let's say, SMEs and also big organizations?
Well, according to your question regarding the freelancer and small business, I would, in my opinion, I would say that the government sector or the PDPC committee should acknowledge and to educate and also to issue the ancillary laws based on the PDPA to help assist or support the online
sellers,
freelancer or SME or
small business
who don't quite understand the PDA very well. One thing in my opinion, that the PDPA actually supposed to be effective 2 years ago, but now postponed to the 1st of June, which is today. But during the past 2 years, we were facing the COVID situation.
Yes, that's a big challenge for them
the big challenge. And most employees, or some, were working at home, working from home. So, and during that time, the big enterprise, the big company have also prepared to comply with the PDPA while all their employees working from home. So the challenge might be that once now, okay, the COVID is better.
It's better.
And everyone is getting back to work at the office. But we will have to see that the preparation of the big enterprise, according to PDA, will be effective or not. And also another challenge from the data subject, because the data subject, okay, we will learn how the rights of ourselves. Like I mentioned earlier, that we have the rights as a data subject to access to the data, or maybe to revoke the consent, or to manage our personal data. So if that business or organization fail to prepare to respond to our rights, that will be another challenge.
Right.
So to conclude, your question is that maybe to help the online seller or the freelancer, we have to provide more information.
More information that they should know.
Education, also issue ancillary laws to support these sectors.
But for the big organizations, you think that they're doing well, and we'll have to wait and see?
I believe that they have been prepared for 2 years already.
Right.
As you said, maybe 80-90%.
They're still confusing about that, but they have prepared.
Yeah, they have prepared. They have prepared that. Of course, not all the employee in one organization understand the PDPA, but they have prepared. Yes.
They have prepared.
Let's wait and see, because it's quite maybe big challenge and for
both parties.
For both parties, yes.
But last question, do you think we are ready for this? Or we will have to go with this, even if we're not ready?
I think for the big enterprise, I think they they're quite ready. They're quite ready. For example, the bank and all the bank and all the financial institution and insurance companies and listed company, I think they have well prepared for the PDPA.
International organization as well in Thailand.
Yes. So let but for ourselves, for the rest of the country,
we are getting there.
There might be some times for them to
adjust.
To adjust and prepare. Okay, even though the law will be effective, actually today, 1st of June, but for any organization, even the big one or the small ones who haven't prepared to comply with the PDPA, you still have time.
Oh, so
you still have time to comply to do the PDPA compliance.
Are there any deadlines?
That's not called a deadline, but as soon as you comply with PDPA, you are safe. You're not risky. But small companies, maybe the risk is a little bit remote. But for the big company, for the listed company, that should be
They should be fine. Small companies, they need more information on this. Okay, so and that's all for today's Voice of the Nations. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned with us every Monday to Friday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. And of course, thank you very much, Kun Radistat, for sharing your opinions and view on the new law PDPA. Okay, have a great evening. สวัสดีค่ะ